Microsoft Flight Simulator and simulators in general represent a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Maybe you're a huge fan of scenery and sightseeing, or maybe you love the feeling of flying planes, or perhaps it's a combination of multiple things. For me, the one overriding thing that ties all aspects together is immersion. Yeah, I realise at this point that sounds very cheesy, but please take a moment to hear me out here. Whether you're flying a plane or looking at scenery or interacting with ATC, you want it to feel genuine. There's a lot of different things that go into any sim or game to deliver that feeling. Some developers hit the mark, others miss it by a light year. Now, I thought it would be a great time to talk about this. After all, the flight sims have gained a massive jump in popularity thanks to the recent Xbox release of Flight Simulator, as well as MSFS having a generally broader appeal than regular sims. So that means there's a lot of subjects that old-time simmers are either fully aware of, take for granted, or just don't think about too much. I know many of you out there, of course, do appreciate these things, but nonetheless, it also means that it's well worth taking some time to point a few of these things out to those who are new to the entire flight sim experience. So today I wanted to take a look at plane interiors. This is something that's easy to overlook. After all, we're often facing forwards, but many of the planes have great interiors. We've just seen a few as I've been talking, which were the Beechcraft and the Cessna Citation, I believe. Right here is the Orbis Eye Hospital. Now this is a modified DC-10. You can't actually fly it in the game, unfortunately, at least not yet, but it was added for free a little while back by Microsoft and Asobo. Now, you're fully free to explore it. You can select it as an active plane and then explore it whilst it's in your hangar. Now, the Orbis Eye Hospital in the real world, of course, is a fantastic achievement. Really wonderful to see something like this that actually exists and is able to travel the world helping people in need. In terms of Microsoft Flight Simulator, it really does represent and highlight just how much detail that the sim is capable of. For now, very few of the default planes have this level of detail, but I think this perhaps speaks to the future of what may be possible later on. Sure, it does raise the question of why would people want this, but I think we addressed that right at the start. It goes back to, well, the feeling of being genuine and believable, and after all, it's a primary reason why third-party developers of some of those very expensive planes out there had the ability to open doors, canopies, and cargo hatches and many other such things like that. Now, talking of third-party planes, this is the Boeing 777 developed by third-party developer Captain Sim. Now, there's 4 variants of this that you can purchase. There's the freighter versions as well as a number of passenger versions. This is the 300 ER. It comes with 12 different liveries. We saw a list of those just a moment ago on the screen as I scrolled down them. I'm using the Air Canada airliner livery right here, and yes, the plane is very well put together. Now, in this particular video, I don't want to talk about the flight model or anything like that because we're actually talking about plane interiors. And when it comes to plane interiors, the 777 really is in a league of its own for most of the planes that are currently available for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, as usual, we've got a wonderfully recreated cockpit interior here. This is great and something we see in even the default planes. But what's especially interesting with the 777 is the ability to move through the doorways here and into the rest of the plane. Do keep in mind that whilst the plane is flying along at many hundreds of knots here, the camera is perfectly in sync with the plane's interior as it's bobbing up and down on the various currents out there. So as you can see, the 777 is really well designed. The exterior is beautifully rendered and the interior is very nice as well. There's the rather expensive business class seats. Now as we come up towards the back end of the business area there, and that actually sounds rather rude, doesn't it? As we come up to this area of the plane here, we can see the canteen. The interior of this is all very well modelled as well. Yeah, we can see some of the food there and some of the various drinks as well. I mean, not perfectly 100% high-res detail there on the textures, but what more can you ask for really? This is really good stuff. Toilets, of course, are also here as well. Incidentally, you may see me clipping through the doorways. You can clip through the doorways because doors don't actually work in Microsoft Flight Simulator, at least not internal doors, or at least not yet. But you can't clip through the hull or the fuselage of the plane itself. So whilst you can clip through those little internal walls, you can't clip through the windows into the exterior of the plane, at least not when using the cockpit cam. You can of course do that in the showcase cam, but we're using the cockpit cam here. So for me, this really does add a huge amount of value to this particular plane, which incidentally is priced around about £16 from the in-game marketplace. If you've got the Microsoft version of the sim like I have, that's the Windows version rather than the Steam version, any purchase you make in sim right here on the marketplace will also be available on the Xbox as well, as long as that mod is available for the Xbox as well. And this plane is available for both Windows and Xbox. So there we have it. This really was a look at one of those aspects of simming that often really does get overlooked. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's true to say that pretty much any game, and indeed any simulator, has aspects that do get overlooked. But I kind of thought this video would make a nice introduction to these type of elements. So with that in mind, and with that said, if there's any aspects of flight simming or flight simulators that you'd like me to cover and talk about that you feel do get overlooked, and that can be graphical elements, it can be functionality elements, anything really, do let me know in the comments section, because I'd be very interested in making some future videos on them. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.